Yeah, excuse me. Isn't it funny how they say, oh, you're this, you're that, but you never did anything wrong. Yeah, you never did anything wrong, but yet still people want to blame you. Yeah, I find that really strange, dude. You never did anything wrong, but people want to blame you. I don't know. I don't know why they do the things they do. It just boggles the mind right now. I don't know why they do the things they do. It's just really amazing right here, right now. I mean, why they do the things they do is beyond me. Why people decide to tell fibs and out and out lies is beyond me, ladies and gentlemen. It's really beyond me because I can't, I can't, I can't fathom why they would do such a thing, why they would lie. I mean, that's the lowest part of that's the lowest part of doing anything. You're lying on people and other stuff. I mean, but did you do anything? No, dude. You never touched a kid. You never did any of that stuff. But then, hey, people are always trying to lie on you, man. That's the thing. That's the way of the world, man. That is the way of the world. I mean, you never did anything wrong. It's like, dude, if you never did anything wrong, then why are they trying to persecute you? It doesn't make sense. But then, hey, there's always some kind of some kind of lie. I mean, why? I mean, it's obvious you never did anything. It's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious you never did anything. But there you go. I mean, it's just funny how every time you're doing something online, you got people saying that you did, but then you never did anything. You never said anything to anybody. I mean, you never did anything to anybody. You never said anything to anybody. I mean, I mean, it just, it just totally messed my mind up. It just totally messed my mind up. I mean, they're willing to say that you did all these things, but I know you couldn't have done that stuff. You couldn't have done that. No, you ain't do none of that stuff. But then, hey, there you go. That's like, that's like, there you go. You didn't do anything wrong. It's funny. It's very funny how you didn't do anything wrong, isn't it? It's, it's real funny. You did nothing wrong, but yet still, you did nothing wrong, but yet still, you're always the blame in other people's little melodrama, you know? And, you know, I can't for the life of me figure out why people are doing this. I mean, why? I mean, it doesn't make any type of real sense for people to do this. I mean, to out and out lie on you, it doesn't make any type of sense. I mean, just to say that you did something when you obviously didn't. I mean, They didn't even have the courtesy to, know, stop. I mean, you suffered a loss in your family, and they couldn't even give you that time to grieve or anything. I mean, that's just poor, and it's wrong too because you ain't doing anything wrong. It's just the people who decide to do this. People who decide to say, "Oh, Dee Dee's this and Dee Dee's that," but then Dee Dee didn't do anything wrong. No, Dee Dee didn't do anything wrong. Dee Dee did nothing wrong. Dee Dee is the kind of person that he keeps to himself. He minds his business, but the people that basically, you know, want to see him hurting are the people who don't like him. They're not his friends, you know, even though some of them used to be his friends, but we can't literally say anything about that. But they used to be his friends. Now they want to talk smack about it. Well, I'm here to tell you, he didn't do anything. He ain't touch nobody. He ain't do anything. He kept to himself. He's always keeping to himself. He's handling his family's business. And people can't give him a chance to handle his family's business. People can't leave him alone. What is wrong with these people that they got to keep stuff going? What is wrong with people that they can't do, that they can't like give somebody a break? They can't like stop. I say it all boils down to that YouTube irresponsibility thing. It's like YouTube irresponsibility. I mean, anything is reported. They don't do anything. Everything is said, reported in a right way, right kind of format. Nothing is said. Nobody even decides to do anything about it. I report stuff and they give me this sorry email saying, "Oh, we don't see what you see. We don't see anything that's wrong. His content follows all the guidelines that all the community guidelines." And the guy keeps doing this stuff. Keeps harassing me. And you know, when I was on broadcast like a couple days ago, he wrote down up and down my screen, pedo, pedo, pedo. And it's just it's just one of those things. I mean, you can't even. It's like you can't be on the internet without somebody bugging you. But it's okay. You know what? It's okay. Because you know what? Cyber stalking is against the law now. You can go to jail for 5 years. You know, and you know what? That's like so your problem because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna start reporting it, and every time, I'm gonna make sure that it happens. YouTube irresponsibility. They don't even try to, keep us safe or anything. They make it so that the people on YouTube can do all kinds of stuff. And when we report it, nothing is ever done. That's how it is. That's how it always is. Irresponsibility. You know, they don't care about us. It's just the dollar is the bottom line for YouTube. They don't care as long as they get our money. The money is the main thing. That's just it. And when they get our money, our content, and they show it, they make money off of us. And they don't do anything to help us at all. Do you think it's fair? I don't. You know, if you don't think it's fair, then you type in you make sure. If you don't think it's fair, then you make sure that you voice your opinion. You make sure that you make it known. Any YouTuber out there that doesn't think it's fair, that YouTube doesn't help us. When we report things, you know, you know what to do. You know what to do. I don't think it's fair that when we report stuff, nothing is ever done about it. Nothing. But somebody could report something on us, and our channels get taken down, our videos get taken down. YouTube irresponsibility. It's just like that, though. Just like that. It's like they don't care. The money is the most important thing to them. As long as they get our money and our content, they don't care because we're making them money. It's just like that. We're making them money. They don't care. They don't care about us. You know, they allow people to, come on and mess with us. What's the use in having them monitor YouTube and they don't do anything? It's like having, it's like when you go, it's like when you have a kid and you tell the kid, "Oh, don't touch that coffee because it's hot." The kid is going to do it anyway. The kid is going to spill it all over himself. Why? Because the kid can't help himself. It's a thing of I'm going to do what I want to do regardless of what you say. And that's the kind of vibe I get with the YouTube irresponsibility thing. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, they've been bothering me and my friends for a long time now, you know, and it's really a pity because YouTube could put a stop to this if they really wanted to. YouTube can do a lot of things if they really wanted to, but YouTube doesn't want to do it. Why? Because we're YouTube's bottom line. We're the money. That's what this is. Where the money. They get money from advertising. They get money from our content. They get money. Basically, they're getting money from us. For real. They're getting money from us. But they're not helping us. They're not doing anything for us. This is like a one-sided relationship. Seriously. It's like oh wow, you're gonna go out with that person, right? But your boyfriend likes that girl. He don't really like you. He's only with you because you're spending money on him. And that's what this is like. you know I mean, you got people going around doxing other people's phone numbers, uh talking about people's relatives, talking about people's dead loved ones and stuff like that. But then there you go again. And there's always something. There's always something going on. But all I'm saying is like this here, you know, when it comes down to uh DD Live Studios, he don't do anything. He doesn't do anything. But YouTube treats us like they don't care. We are just like that.
YouTube treats us like the bottom line. When they get our money, it's like this. Wow, we got their money, so we don't need to do anything for them. We don't need to. So we'll let the people do whatever they want to do, and that's the way it is. People never want to leave you alone. I mean, you got people bullying other people on YouTube. People going around saying things on YouTube about people's dead loved ones. What kind of person does that? You know? But if you really want to do all that, I mean, do you really want to do all that? Come on. I mean, they never leave you alone, period. You never get a moment's peace. It's like, it's like, it's like, Faceless Soldier. He never gets a moment's peace. They talk to his friends about him. They talk to each other about him. Then they attack him like a pack of jackals, And you know what? You know what? He doesn't even do anything. He tries to keep to himself. He don't say anything. He talks to his friends, you know, but they never leave him alone. They never leave him alone. It's like it's like they get a thrill off of bugging the poor guy. I mean, the guy, um, it got so bad that his blood pressure it skyrocketed. And he had to go to the hospital. He had to stay in the hospital like overnight because his blood pressure went, you know, and he had medical problems. It was crazy. But do you think they cared? No. YouTube didn't care. We reported the incident, but YouTube didn't care. I mean, they mess with DD Live Studios constantly. YouTube don't care. YouTube thinks everything is a joke. Everything is a joke to them, you know. And then you got people like the furry fandom. They come on here, and they do their little dirt. YouTube don't do anything to them. They don't. But um it's like when we do our content, Didi does his gospel thing, his gospel content, and I've noticed, even when I'm watching his live streams and he's talking about God and stuff like that, sometimes his videos will get flagged. Sometimes his videos will get flagged. It all depends on who's watching and whether they like him or not. Whether they like him or not should never come into play with the video. I mean, the video is about God. The video ain't about DD Live Studios. It's about God. Without God, it would be no us. Without God, it would be no parents. There will be no us. There will be no civilization. They say God created the earth in 6 days, or so the Bible says. you know. But I'm sure that when he created Earth, I'm sure he didn't create people to do this. I'm sure he did not create people to do this. People to go around hating each other. People go around saying things about people. People go around bearing false witness, stuff like that. Yeah, on the seventh day he rested. Like any normal person. Shoot. I mean, This is a this is a guy who created a whole planet in 6 days. Yeah, the book of Genesis tells you how he created the earth in 6 days. And the seventh day he rested. You know, but that all says, if you ever watch any science fiction show, and they do have a shred of truth to them, right? And common research says that the Big Bang uh, that created our solar system done so over the course of 7 days. Done so over the course of 7 days, because the Big Bang wasn't really It wasn't really an explosion. It was really the explosion of of a star turning in on itself. It became a white star instead of a black hole, which is the reverse of a black hole. Instead of sucking in all the energy and matter around it, it forced energy and matter to become solid objects. Like our planetary system, it ignited our sun, which is a great big ball of hydrogen and carbon forced together with a magnetic with a magnetic with a magnetic kind of a magnetic pole around it, and you know and a negative magnetic force keeps it in place. They say the sun spins around the earth. No, actually it's wrong. The Earth moves around the sun in an elliptical orbit, right? Its course is parabolically aligned by the sun's magnetic field. Anybody who's ever been to school would learn that, would know that. But then there you go. I'm not trying to dispute the God theory. I'm just laying on some little science, like it is. But I'm gonna tell you like it is, folks. You have to stimulate the mind in order for the body to react. That's just simple logic right there, you know. And these so-called hunters, I'm not gonna say the other word, but these so-called hunters, they exude negative energy instead of the positive energy that make up that make up the mind of a man, that make up the mind of everybody. Everybody's supposed to be positive and do positive things. That's what YouTube is about. YouTube is about the exchange of ideas. You know, YouTube is the concept of it's the concept of ideas being exchanged on a forum. You know, it's like infinite diversity surrounds you know all kinds of different ideas. Even though we're different people, we embody the same ideas, but we go about it different ways. There's different renditions of God. There's different religions. There's Judaism, there's Christianity, there's baptism, there's what is it, agnosticism. uh you could be Prostinian. You can be, I mean, you can be all kinds of things. All of those are religion that they basically subscribe and worship the same deity, same God. God has many names. God has a name. There's Jesus. There's Yahweh. There's Jesus, like the Spanish call him. There is there's Buddha, as the Hindu call him. The Japanese call him Hashiman. I mean, the Muslims call him Allah. You know, there's many things. God comes in many forms. Uh, the Chinese depict God as being a monk, sent from the heavens to travel the world. His teachings is to instill balance to man, to make to bring back the balance, to bring balance to the world and order, to existence. But these negative people, these negative influences, these negative individuals, you know, they show all the traits of an unbalanced mind, You know, it always is like that. I mean, and that is why we need to find balance within ourselves. We need to basically learn how to get along. When you were a kid, that's what your parents is put here to do. They're put here to teach you. You know, they teach you the lessons that they learned from their parents that came before them and their parents that came before them. It's an ongoing process of learning. You know, life is a journey, but it's a journey of fulfillment and education. Education education has to come before the fulfillment. It's life is exploration, you know, and time is like a companion that follows us throughout our lives. Like it's not like this looming specter like they tell you in this in Shakespearean lore. Time time is the time is the abstract construct by which we learn, by which we do things. You know, we measure our lives in linear time. Why? Because we are a people. We are a linear people. We live, we live, we learn. We pass on our lessons to our children and they pass it on to their children. And it's an ongoing thing. They say that once we cease to exist, we cease to exist. But I believe, I believe that even though our mortal body dies, it's a it's a ongoing thing. It's the ultimate adventure, you know. It's a exploration, you know. When it's like when you sleep and you dream, you know, even though your body is sleeping, right? Your mind explores many concepts, many, many, there's many ideas being unfolded in that mind because the human mind is a dimension all within itself, you know? And it's our job to take that mind, that thing, you know, God gave us and expand upon it, you know, you know, accentuate the positive, learn. That's the order of things. We learn. Living an earthly existence is like being an explorer. You're an explorer. Everybody's exploring the same thing. Everybody's living the same life, but they're doing it in different ways. You know, they're doing it in different ways. It's like infinite combinations with infinite diversity. You know, you're different from I'm different from the person. I'm different from my friend Dee Dee. But Dee Dee is living a different life than me. But we're exploring the same concept of life. We're exploring, we're we're exploring, we're expanding. You know, through our conversations, we expand, we learn from each other, we exchange ideas. That is the basis of what man is put here to do, put here to learn, put here to learn. You know, we're we're supposed to learn, we're supposed to teach, supposed to evolve. But without education, there can be no evolution. Without education, there can be no, you know, there can be no There can be no further technical advances. There can be no Earth becomes a stagnant world, and its people become a stagnant, decadent people. That's the way it is. That's the way it is in a nutshell. And that's what YouTube promotes. YouTube doesn't protect its people. YouTube is supposed to help us. YouTube is supposed to help us exchange ideas, with each other. They don't. YouTube is supposed to have moderators. They're supposed to have paid moderators to literally monitor monitor YouTube and correct anything that goes wrong, you know? But they don't. They don't try. They don't try. YouTube is a stagnant concept, you know? It's man's lazy attempt at it's like say like you have a kid and you say like you have a kid, right? Okay, you have a kid and you suddenly have to take a phone call. Oh, instead of taking the kid with you, you're gonna set the kid down in front of the TV and you're gonna turn on Sesame Street and his little mind is gonna be warped by these little sock things talking, one of these things this doesn't belong here. You know, his little mind is going his all while he's watching this stuff. His little mind is going, did my mother really mean me to sit here and watch this stuff? And as he grows up, he's gonna wonder what goes through her mind as to set a kid in front of that mind numbing drivel. You know? That's how it is. And that's what these haters do when they fabricate evidence against people. It's not even true. It's just drivel. It's just cyber trash that somebody made up. You know? Cyber trash. I mean, they say with each story and fable, a shred of truth is always evident. But with these guys, it's nothing but a web of lies. That's what they do. They lie and they cheat and they say things that they shouldn't say. They do things that they shouldn't do, and they try to get click off of it, views. They do the gossip thing where oh, and this person did this, and oh, and did you hear Dee did this, and he didn't grieve for his granny. You know what? That's a big fib right there because he did grieve. Just because you don't see him bawling on YouTube and junk like that, he did grieve. You know, he did grieve. His aunt grieved, his family suffered a loss. But you people can't see in your mind to let him grieve, to leave him alone. You guys got to call him names and fabricate vile things against him. you know? And that goes back to the point of learning. One of God's commandments says, thou shalt not bear false witness. But from where I'm sitting and from what I see on a day-to-day basis, you guys have bared more false witness than anything. I mean, there's no shred of truth of anything. I mean, there you go. There you go. But you know what I say? When it all boils down to it, and I'm going to tell you what the Egyptians believe. It was the Egyptian deity Anubis that said, and I believe that he got this from God himself because he said, and I quote, and it's scribbled on the walls in the pyramid of the Valley of the Kings, in death, every man is equal. Okay? There you go. In life, every man is equal. So, in essence, what he's saying is you might make up evidence on Didi, but you don't know if someone's doing the same to you. So, ergo, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's what it boils down to. Because when you do things to other people, you open up the door for others to do stuff to you. And that's really the truth. That's really true. You know, you open up the door for people to do things to you, things that you don't want done to you, but yet and still, you won't hesitate to do things to your fellow man. You won't hesitate to do things to your girlfriend. You won't hesitate to do things to your pet. You know, you can have. I mean, if you do this to your friend or the guy that's your enemy, how will you treat a kid? You say you're protecting kids, but you're not. All I see is a person chasing clout, looking for clickbait. That's all I see. A person wanting to go back and forth, doing the dozens. It's an outdated practice that needs to be stopped. I mean, to be honest, it's a stereotype that doesn't need to be prolonged. That doesn't need to be perpetuated. I mean, why would you do stuff like that? Why would you hurt somebody like that? Why would you say that he didn't grieve for his grandma, knowing he did? He did. He may not have been bawling to you where you could see it, you know, but you don't know him like I do, okay? You don't know him like I do. He's handling a lot of stuff, and for a young person to be handling that much stuff, it got to be a strain on him. But like I said, I want to say it like this. You guys need to stop. Seriously. You guys need to stop. You guys need to think about what you do. You guys need to think about what you do because for everything, for everything you do, someone's waiting to do it to you. For everything you say, someone's waiting to say the same to you. For everything I'll just put it like this. For everything you do, every nuance you think you're going to do, somebody else did it before you. For everything, there is a season. Just like that. Is just that cut and dry. And to be point blank honest with you, because I've literally watched people fabricate evidence and say bad things about people. I've literally watched it. I haven't responded because it's not worth it. It's not worth my time. But you know what? It's all in the knowing. You know, it's all in the thing of you. You think you know the things in which you talk about. You think there is a shred of truth in what you say, but there isn't. There's no shred of truth in it. It's a pointless argument that went on for what, 13, 14 years. And I'll tell you, it needs to just stop. And I'm sure it'll go on forevermore because the people who come after you is going to perpetuate what you've done. It's going to repeat what you've done. They're going to become you. and they're going to do exactly what you did. You know, so in essence, you know, we are the younger YouTubers learn from us what we do here, now, today. You know, they learn. They learn from us what it's our responsibility to teach them to use YouTube the right way instead of using it the way you guys have been doing. But then there you go. You know, it's nature versus nurture. You know, but nature wins out all the time because you guys take on the attitude of your predecessor, that mindset to where I'm going to do this and I'm going to watch this TV show and I'm going to do that when I get on YouTube. And that's what I see. It's a repetition of reality TV. You know, that's what I see. That's what I see with that YouTube Fight Club and all the other stuff. I mean, that's just what I see. You know, and it's as laughable as it is. It's not really all that funny because it's really sad because you guys are very talented people and you know better. You know better than to do things like this, and it's very disheartening to know that you young people you're going to be our future. That only tells me that if our future is in your hands, this world is going to be in trouble. Seriously. And that means that you guys need God more than ever. Seriously. I mean, Dee Dee, would you like to say something? If you, yeah, if you want to say something, feel free. Feel free. Type it in the chat bar, send up a smoke signal, whatever you want to do. Because point blank, you guys, I don't know what to say. I could say, don't do that. But it's just like me saying, you know, you shouldn't do that. But then I know you're going to do it anyway. So why waste time? You know? Why waste time? So I'll leave you with this. And I hope you take it to heart, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you dishonor your mother and your father with every negative act you perform, with every evil deed done. You dishonor their memory. You bring shame to their life and existence. You bring shame on upon the lessons that they try to teach you. And for what? A few minutes of fame, a few minutes of clout. I mean, you claim you want to help people, but you're not. You do more harm than good. And that's the truth. You're debating people's characters and you're going after folks, you know, and you're using young people to do it. Yeah, I know you are. I watch it every day. I watch it every day, all day. But then there you go. Yep, there you go. So I don't know what to say to you anymore. I mean, if you want to do that, you want to perpetuate that type of lifestyle where nobody trusts you. You know, you might get a job or something, and your boss might look at your social media and go, I can't trust this guy. He's doing this. God knows what he might do if I give him some responsibility. You know, nobody wants to trust anybody who would do this stuff. And what I'm going to say is, God is good, and you people need God. That's like self-evident. I mean, I can see that from here. You people need God. You people need God to come down and talk to you and set you straight. You know, and for Miss Jackson, that dearly departed, rest in peace. Sleep well. Sleep well. You know, Edie, don't worry about it, man. 'Cause you got everything in hand, man. Just don't worry about it. You can do anything you put your mind to. Just keep the faith, man. Peace out.